Hey guys, Kyle from One Up Adventures and Fly Products USA, and today we're going to talk about the Cosmos 300 and doing the oil change on the gearbox. Now this is something that we have done after the first 10 hours, and then after that we go by the manual specifications. First things first, remove the prop and loosen the airbox to make it easier to access everything on top of the gear case. Then what you're going to need is an Allen key for the bottom, a wrench for the top, and a wrench for this little eye bolt right here, and we'll get close-ups on that for you to see it. And now we need to get the oil out of the case. So what I'll first do is I'm just gonna remove this airbox. This is already unscrewed, so I'm just gonna lift it up and just tip it off to the side a little bit, just so I can access this top bolt here. This is actually, it's a bolt, but it's also a breather. And there are copper washers on the top and on the bottom, which you can replace each time. This is what the top breather and the bushing look like. Just take this and set it off to the side. Now you see that there's another bolt here, right here. This is actually your fill line. And what we do with this is once we go to fill it, we take this out, and once the oil drains out of this section, we know it's full. So right now I'm gonna remove the bottom bolt right here, and we're gonna let all of the oil drain. This engine is still warm, which is a good thing, so it can get as much oil out as possible. Make sure you have your bucket below. Now as you can see, there are some metal shavings on here. Not a big deal, something to clean off, and just keep an eye on it. If you have consistent metal shavings that are a lot, this motor is still relatively new, but this is not too much by any means for a wet clutch. Once all the oil is drained out, all we're gonna do is I'm just gonna rotate this a little bit just to get any of the little excess in there. You can see it's still dripping slowly, not a big deal. I'll let it drip for a moment. While I'm doing that, I'm gonna remove this little bleed screw, and I'll get my replacement copper washers. These aren't very tight, they're just snug. And here is your little bleed screw. Now all we have to do is put the bottom plug back in and fill it up on the top until it comes out of this hole. Once that happens, we plug this up, put the top breather back on, airbox prop, and we're done. What we use for this is actually motorcycle oil. It's Valvoline, full synthetic, motorcycle 4-stroke oil, 10W40. Now, in the top right corner, you can see it says Ultimate Wet Clutch Transmission and Engine Protection. This is all we've used in all of our Cosmoses, and it's worked perfectly. So we're just gonna keep filling it until it starts coming out of that bleed hole. And there we are. So you can see I filled that, and I didn't use a funnel, but I would suggest one if it makes it much easier for you. But now you can see it is coming out of this hole. So I'm gonna let it bleed out for about 10 seconds or so, just to make sure that we leave enough in there. And of course, if it gets down to that line, that's exactly where we want it. I'll just wipe this off a little bit. You can see it's still coming out of there. Not fast, but that's okay. So right here, we'll put this screw back on. All right, now all we have to do is put the breather tube back on, or the breather bolt back on with the new copper washers, and reassemble our engine, and you're good to go. So that was the oil change on the Cosmos 300. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes. Once you get experience, it takes about 5 minutes. The hardest part and the longest part of this process is actually getting the tools, getting the bucket, and cleaning your hands off when you're done. The actual process takes almost no time at all. So if this helped you and you want to see more of this type of thing, please let us know in the comments about what kind of videos you want to see, other maintenance things that might help you in the future, and we'll be happy to make those videos. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out anytime, and thanks for watching.